Have you ever wondered why we get tattoos? Is it just for looks, or is there something more to it? The story of tattooing is as old as humanity itself, stretching back thousands of years. It's not a modern trend, it's an ancient tradition that tells the story of who we are. Let's travel back in time, way back. The oldest known tattoos were found on Ötzi the Iceman, a mummy discovered in the Alps who lived over 5,300 years ago. He had 61 tattoos, but they weren't elaborate designs. They were simple lines and crosses, mostly on his joints and back. Scientists believe these weren't for decoration, but for therapeutic purposes, kind of like an ancient form of acupuncture to relieve pain. So, the very first tattoos might have been for healing, but the reasons for getting inked are as diverse as the cultures that practiced it. For many ancient societies, tattoos were a rite of passage. When a young person came of age, getting a tattoo marked their transition into adulthood. It was a symbol of strength, endurance, and belonging to the tribe. Think of the Polynesians, whose intricate tatau designs covered entire bodies, telling the story of a person's lineage, status, and life achievements. Each mark was earned and held deep meaning. Tattoos also served as spiritual protection. In ancient Egypt, tattoos were often found on women, especially around the abdomen. These were thought to be amulets to protect them during pregnancy and childbirth. In other cultures, specific symbols were tattooed on warriors to give them strength and courage in battle, or to ward off evil spirits. It was a permanent form of armor, both physical and spiritual. So how did they do it without modern tattoo machines? The methods were ingenious, though probably quite painful. One common technique was to use a sharp tool, like a sharpened bone, a thorn, or a piece of flint, to cut or puncture the skin. Then, they would rub a pigment into the wound. This pigment was usually made from soot, charcoal, or other natural plant-based dyes, mixed with water or oil. Imagine the patience and skill that required. The Polynesians developed a comb-like tool made from bone or tortoiseshell, which they would dip in ink and tap into the skin with a mallet. As civilizations evolved, so did tattooing. When Captain James Cook's sailors traveled to the Pacific in the 18th century, they were fascinated by the tatau they saw and brought the practice back to Europe. This is where we get the modern word tattoo. It became popular among sailors who would get tattoos of anchors, ships, and other symbols as souvenirs of their travels and as good luck charms. From there, the electric tattoo machine was invented in the late 1800s, revolutionizing the art form and making it faster and more accessible. Tattoos went from being a tribal custom and a sailor's mark to a symbol of counterculture in the 20th century, and now a mainstream form of personal expression. So the next time you see a tattoo, remember it's part of a long, rich human history. From ancient healing remedies to symbols of identity and art, tattoos have always been a way for us to write our stories directly onto our skin. What story does your skin tell? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into human history.